Oh, dude, this is bad. If you're to open up Overwatch right now, the bottom right no longer advertises the minigame, which then takes you through the menu automatically to play the latest free-for-all game mode, but instead it is now advertising the shop, and this is absolutely brutal. And the main reason it's brutal is because it's literal proof that either there's not enough sales, or Blizzard gave up, or Blizzard's priorities aren't straight, which I guess that one much is obvious, to be fair. But the problem is that it is so bad, because when you open up Overwatch, right, one of the first things on the main menu is the shop. However, to find the new game mode, you go play, you click arcade, then you click the new game mode and you queue into it. There's multiple menu options in which a lot of people might not find it, because most people will either open up the game, queue for open queue, roll queue, or ranked. Right? Like, that's what's going to happen. It's just automatic. It's automatic. That's what most people will do. Meaning, if you want people to expose themselves to the newest content, the challenges, the skins, you got to work on that menu a little bit, you know? Click it. You get into the game mode, you try it out. At the end of it, it shows you your progress towards the free skin, which is a reuse skin, but we'll get to that in a second. You know, that's how you funnel people into the game mode. But instead, they're like, yeah, the game mode? No, the shop. It's a second button for the shop. There's already a button on the main menu, and they put a second button for the shop. You know, maybe get people into the game mode, the new one. You know, I'm actually blown away that this is the approach that was taken. I'm baffled. But to be fair to myself, I guess that's all I can really report when it comes to that. They gave up. They clearly just care about the shop and the skins. There's no other way to put it. And the execution on top of that was poor, because wanting sales is one thing, but poorly just adding a second button to the shop with a tiny little widow icon like new skins, click here. It's not very good. It's just not very good. That's just a fact. I'm calling it as I see it. However, that is only one part of this video. The second part is the absolute disaster that has been the new event. Now, I need to put it in a nutshell. If the new event came out the way, the way it is, free for all, a fun little game mode. Okay, it's cool. I like the alt changed a lot. I had fun when I played it, so I need to get that out of the way. The problem with it is it's complete and utter destruction when it comes to structure. The structure is clearly not there. I mentioned this in my first video, and I will mention it again. There is no incentive to play the new game mode when it's a 6-year-old skin that most Overwatch 1 players have. And that also sends another message in which we are no longer Blizzard's main customer, but instead the casual player who only knows skins to be paid is the new customer. But I would love a little bit of data. I would love a little bit of data that shows the old versus new player spectrum. I'm willing to bet that the high majority of Overwatch 2 players still are Overwatch 1 players. I highly doubt that new players make up anything close to 40 or 30% of the player base right now. I don't believe it. I mean, okay, they can prove me wrong, but the fact is they're most likely not going to share that data. I would love to know it, but I think the majority of players are still players that came from Overwatch 1, and they're not catering to them nearly at all. Nearly at all. Now, one of the biggest complaints about the event that it wasn't a PvE event, and I know that Overwatch 2's biggest promise was to do with PvE. However, I'm not actually bashing Blizzard on that very much. I think the biggest hurdle was no foresight. So let me talk a little bit about foresight and why I think this event was so lame. It's not because it wasn't PvE. I'm giving Blizzard the benefit of the doubt. Get the PvE when it's ready. Show me a banger story, good lore, and consistent content in a PvE format that's engaging and fun. You will get praise from me. If you don't, we'll make another video when the time comes. For now, let's see what they could have done that makes sense towards this event, but tweaked. Well, one, they have a free-for-all mode without a team-based mode. They definitely should have put both modes in together. They already designed the icons, the abilities, etc. They should have balanced a second mode, which is a 4v4 elimination base. And what does this do? It allows people with friends to actually play together. That's the biggest hurdle. If I wanted to play with my friends, we wanted to get on casually, we're all casual players, we can't check out the new game mode. We don't even want to. A lot of them just didn't, because they're like, I don't want to play on my own. I just play with you guys. I just want to play with my friends. Let's queue together. Screw this new game mode. I don't care about it. That actually happened. I was in a call that literally happened, because you can only play on your own. And a lot of people don't enjoy gaming on their own, or they don't do it often. Like, you just completely annihilate that player base. You know what I mean? Or you can play on your own, but then when your friends get on, you got to stop playing that game mode. That's the first problem. You should have made a second 4v4 that rewards players for playing together. Imagine you could stack with different comps, like one plays Widow, one plays Roadhog, one plays Lucio, and you all got these cool little new freaking alts that you can try to stack together. You know what I mean? Right off the bat, you already got the system. Just balance it a little and get it going. It would have been fine. It would have been dandy. but nope, they just didn't bother. The second part of the equation is of course the reward system, which, let's be honest, I've already talked about in great detail on why rewarding the players with in-game content is very important to boost not only engagement, but accessibility on a wider audience. Like, people would more likely grind the game out if there was a good reason to. That's kind of what I mean. However, it just was completely ignored. Instead, we got an Old Mercy skin, which again is not nearly enough incentive to play the game mode. Again, it was a step in the right direction because it was versus Twitch drops and not having any sort of reward, but it's so far from perfect, it's laughable. Because the truth is, not only was it an old skin, but the way to get these skins are absurd. You know, get 300 kills with Widow, okay, maybe, crazy, but maybe. Get 300 kills with Lucio, okay, you know, you're kind of pushing it. Get 300 kills with, like, Reinhardt, yeah, a lot of people aren't gonna do that. They, you know, Overwatch tweeted how many kills each hero has as of right now. I mean, just look at this. We have Junker Queen in first, which also makes sense with her buffs that make her quite the strong brawler. Then you got Pharah and Roadhog. Now, my only surprise is that Roadhog is not number one. He's still the one-shot king. Even in this mode, he's doing massive damage. But I digress. The top three. Then we got the Lucio drop-off. And the biggest thing is between Reinhardt and Junker Queen. We're talking about 7.6 million versus 3.5 million kills as of right now when they posted this image. They're just trying to prove that it's not balanced. You know what I mean? And I guess the second thing to that is fine. It doesn't need to be balanced. That's okay. You know what? The truth is, it's supposed to be a fun game mode, but you're locking a reward behind the kills, and now the community, whoever gets the most kills, get a statue on the map. You know, it's all okay. It's not absolutely terrible, but it just feels all kind of useless or worthless when there isn't enough engagement, right? That engagement is really what will make the game mode fun, that community engagement. And there's a couple ways to do that. If you wanted to make those challenges such a grind, the rewards should have been bangers. The rewards should have been amazing. The rewards should have been maybe a skin for the hero that gets those kills. If I get 300 kills with Widowmaker, why don't I get a Widowmaker skin? Even if it's not the snake one, why not just a new unique one? Even if it's just epic, even if it's not a legendary, why not a decent Widowmaker skin for getting 300? And then you can get 300 kills on all the heroes, and each time you do, you get a little special rare skin for them. That's how you create engagement. Imagine me grinding Roadhog into freaking Widow, into freaking Lucio. It would have been kind of impossible to do all of them, but you choose your favorites and you'll get it done. You'll have fun. You'll want to play. And then add the fact there would have been a 4v4 game mode or something along those lines, and all of a sudden you're grinding with your friends and you guys together collectively want to get those skins. You created a community. Now that we're engaged as a community, I see that tweet. I'm like, yo, look, whatever hero gets the most kills gets a statue. And we know as we're playing, we're contributing to that number. It all kind of circles back and doesn't feel as useless. I hope I kind of made sense in that explanation, and I think that Blizzard really missed the mark on multiple little pieces that altogether make the entire event feel like a flop.